basketball savant on with us
Hey,
tonight. So
Busty's.
I'm happy. I'm in a good mood.
Heck
Yes,
yeah, man.
sir.
That's what's up, bro.
Bro.
Yeah,
Let me
man.
retweet this right quick.
Who's in his domain, bro? Good.
This bear has an actual alter ego to you, man.
Bro, who is in my domain right now?
That's a good luck charm right there, bro.
Oh
That
my
you
God.
had
Good
that for
luck
the
charm.
draft, right? For the lottery.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what got us the number one overall pick,
Yep.
apparently.
Yep. Hey, look, we
Just-
actually
yeah.
got a mockumentary coming out about it, actually. So everybody.
Oh, we got a
look up it.
mockumentary and
It's coming
everything.
out. Yeah.
I love that. I love
I've been
that.
trying to do the voiceovers too, the narration.
Heard it here first.
Yeah. He heard it here first.
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Everyone that's rolling in, welcome to the 313 Report, a special version of the 313 Report. I'm your host, Sean Murphy, literally alongside my guy, Kool-Aid.
What's up? Yo, and I'm glad to be here. Deuce, what's good? Jordan, PistonsThoughts.
What is-
what's good? Yo, we're
What's
in the
going
midst
on?
of
What is good? It is a good day. We got Pistons thoughts with us, man. It's always a good day.
Dog.
One of the Pistons Twitter
Hey.
OGs, one of the godfathers of Pistons Twitter, man, is right in front of our very eyes. Before there was a Nick Henkel, there was Jordan tweeting out jokes, getting the roll call, getting everybody ready
Yep.
each and every night.
Support groups.
Oh, dude, how can we forget the support groups, bro?
It's been a while. That's on me. It's been a while.
Dude, honestly, you did the support groups before there was even Twitter Spaces. Imagine what that would have been like in the era of like Twitter Spaces and everything, man. That's back when we I see all like Lakers Tonight and all those like crazy spaces that happen. Like you kind of were doing some of that stuff before a lot of other people did, man. So
Yeah, it was back when Periscope was a thing.
Oh yeah, man. Periscope was a vibe.
May
man.
rest in peace.
Yeah. So how did you get your start, man? What started this Twitter account, and like when it did begin, what was your intention for it? Was it for it to go down this path and to be something that like could be a platform, or was it just something you just did out of boredom?
It was basically a way for me to not let my like regular friends be annoyed as shit with me every single day, tweeting Pistons game. So I started this account in 2014. Mind you, Josh Smith, Greg Monroe, Andre Drummond. I started in that era, right? Yeah, honestly.
Ouch. Yikes.
And I was out there convincing myself it was gonna work. Anyways, now, the main reason I did it was just so that my regular Twitter followers just weren't annoyed with me. And I just started interacting with people somehow. 12,000 followers later, I'm an OG now, but there was no reason other than that.
Yeah, I would argue one of the things about your one of the things I love about your Twitter, the branding was on point from the beginning. It's never changed. You've embraced the teal. You embraced the horse.
Yep. Oh, what do we got here?
Totally. Yeah. Speaking of that, man, the Pistons need to bring it back, right? The horse has got to come back.
Yeah. I mean, the rumor is teal is going to be back next season. I don't know if it's going to be horse-themed teal or if it's just going to be teal, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Man,
I like how they're slowly integrating it in now. Like you see it in certain unis, just a little teal.
Yeah.
Remix uniform.
Oh, heck yeah, man.
Yes. Yep, I love it.
It's cool. Hey, Jordan, you did this, PistonsThoughts. You did this. How do you feel knowing that carrying the banner of teal all those years is so that now they can
all I've been asking for.
Oh yeah, we got the teal, baby.
Red.
I got the teal light.
There it is. Yeah, exactly.
We love
there
it.
we go.
Yeah.
Now all I've been asking for is
knowing
teal
that
and
you
red.
carried this banner, man.
It feels good. It feels good. I mean, I'm glad we got the red jerseys back this season that weren't with the race stripe down the middle. That was cool.
Yeah.
But no, all I've been begging for is just give me some clean red jerseys and just bring back the teal. Everyone wants it except like a few people who didn't love what they saw in the teal jerseys in the early 2000s, late 90s, whatever it was.
Yeah. And that's probably the complaint that I hear the most, man, is that a lot of people who saw that era, they associate teal with the losing. A lot of people who are just coming into Pistons today, they're like, yo, it just looks dope. It looks really, really dope. And that's one thing I want people to tell us. You know, if you're from that era, what do you think of the Till? If you didn't watch that era, what do you think of the Till? Because that's what I generally hear the most.
For sure, yeah. It's also kind of crazy how many like younger people are on Pistons Twitter now who've never seen this team win.
Yeah.
And like,
a lot of people talk about how their glory days, man. Like, first of all, you know, I know you, I know me. I grew up with the going to work team, man. Like my childhood was Chauncey, Rip, Tayshaun, Rashid, and Ben. But like a lot of people, you know, this guy, he grew up with, you know, a little bit of an older team, just a little bit.
Yeah. This guy was the constructor of that 2014. Giving his flowers.
Hell yeah, he was.
But then, you know, there's a lot of people where like their pinnacle was the Brandon Jennings Pistons, or
the 7-game stretch.
Former Wall.
Man. And like that to me is surreal because like I try to block those years out of my life. You know what I mean? So it's just it's crazy.
Like I'm always curious like how those people became Pistons fans, because it's like even like legacy Pistons fans who was like, you know, sort of like parents will show their kids Pistons. It's like people definitely stopped watching the last 10 years. Like they're coming back now with Cade and everything going on now, but like I don't know how people became fans in the last 10 years. It's crazy.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what? Yeah, I'll let you go and then I'll speak to that actually.
Yeah, no, but it's interesting how quickly like, you know, like the energy is like really rejuvenating in the franchise now, you know, because like it really like dramatically ever since Troy Weaver came in and, you know, everything was, you know, they really changed the approach, you know, like it was like, I think it was what a lot of us were waiting for years because like, you know, as much as we loved Reggie and as much as we loved Luke, or even as much as we even appreciated Blake at the time for everything he tried to do for us, it was like, all right, we're just trying to run into a brick wall over and over again, expecting to finally break through. But like, it's just not going to happen. You have to build this the right way. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Yeah. And to speak to that, man, with the organizational shift, you know, I think it put it in Tom Gore's mind, yo, I have to do something, because Piston fans weren't dead. They weren't silent. They didn't go away. They just stopped showing up to the arena. You know, and that's the thing we talked about. Yo, there were people who were fans of the Brandon Jennings era in the form, you know, FAFW, man, form a wall. You can say it for me.
Form a fucking wall, baby.
That era, and it's because look at Pistons Twitter during that time. Look at Instagram during that time. Look at socials. Look at the content creators. Look at the people like yourself, you know, who have inspired people like myself, like Downtown Deuce, like Sean Murphy, Sean Halfcourt. You know, that's the reason why people like here ready to celebrate when we got KayCunningham. That's why. That's why we didn't break that chain. It's just, hey, you know, they went through transition from Auburn Hills out to LCA. They went through transition of trading their stars away. You know, one by one, either not signing them or trading them. Ben, Rip, Chauncey, Sheed, Tay, one by one. That was kind of depressing and devastating to a franchise that has proud fans who know the history.
Kinda. Kinda. I still have nightmares from the Chauncey trade, bro. Still have nightmares from that, bro.
It was a tough
I don't know about you. There's only like a few moments in my time as a Pistons fan where like I distinctly remember where I was, what was happening, even like the time of day. You know what I mean? Like it's like it's like, man, it's almost like BC, like you know, before after, it's like before and after the Chauncey trade.
Yeah, I would agree with that, bro. Because even when Ben decided to go to Chicago, that was a devastating blow. But there was still some semblance of hope that we could still somewhat contend. But when Chauncey was gone, that was the writing on the wall that this era was completely over. We had no shot at even contending anymore.
Yeah. Jordan, I'm curious to ask, by the way, as this guy brings his Chauncey
That's where it's at.
Phillips jersey into
I just gotta hold it close.
Yeah,
I gotta hold it close.
You gotta hold it close.
Man,
to the heart,
you can never let go.
Man. It hurts. When he came back, bro, I was like, yo, I don't care if he's a shell. I don't care if we don't do nothing. He's back where he belongs.
That's when I made this Twitter account. He was on that team. Second time.
Man, that's incredible. And so speaking of that, like you've had this Twitter account for quite a while. What's been the biggest, what's been the biggest consistency you've seen in Pistons Twitter? And like, what's been the biggest way you've seen it change as it's gone on over time? Because I don't know about you, but like the community's a lot different now than even when it was like 3 years ago. I would say back then, like 2-3 years ago, we would all just post the Marcus Camby gif, and that was like a Pistons Twitter thing. Now it's like it's going in different webs and different directions, man.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like seeing all the different people in and out over the last, I guess, 8 years since I've been doing this, like All-Star break 2014. But definitely we always go through periods of convincing ourselves that a bad team is going to be decent. We do that. We've been doing that for 12 years now.
You mean like how just because we got Cade, everyone was acting like we were going to the playoffs, and then
they were right. They're right this time. Don't worry. But
this year they're right.
Yeah. I was
this
talking
year
about
we're going to the playoffs
when I said it in the beginning of this season.
Yeah.
That's bad.
You're stepping on my toes over here, man.
Yeah. But no, it's like it's definitely shifted. There was a lot of civil wars. We've had civil wars. I don't know if you guys remember the Russell Westbrook situation a couple years ago.
God, dude.
Yeah.
That sparked a civil war, tank versus not tank for a few years. I was team anti-tank, and then we embraced the tank, and it worked out.
What was a bigger one to me than the Russell Westbrook one? Do you remember the DeMar DeRozan one? That was big. And that one
I was team DeMar DeRozan.
Goodness.
Oh, yeah. I mean, hey, I kind of wasn't against it either. But I mean, listen, that was kind of like a consistent one. Like that one kind of didn't go away for a while. It was like always like whenever it was talking about guys bringing, it was like, we could bring in DeMar DeRozan.
Look, looking at how it's worked out for Chicago.
Oh yeah, they're doing great.
Yeah. Sheesh, can you imagine that?
Oh yeah, the Lakers are pinching themselves that he's not.
Bro,
he's not with
y'all heard Magic. Y'all heard Magic talking about that?
Yeah, he told him out.
Yes. They could have got DeRozan for a Kuz and a pick.
I was about to say Deuce.
Hey guys, don't worry. Next year, Kendrick Nunn, Talen Horton-Tucker, and a first. It's gonna fix everything. They'll get a star in return.
It always does.
Nunn and a first. It's gonna get you everything you need.
They can get JaMarco Pickett for that.
Who says no?
Maybe.
Speaking of, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're out towards that way, right? You're West Coast bound. Is that right? You're not in Michigan.
Yeah, I'm in LA, so I'm sitting with LeBron.
Oh man,
nice. Holding it down though.
Yeah. So, what is it like? I mean, being on the West Coast with a team that obviously, first of all, I mean, the obvious one, time zone, right? But But I mean, also, the other big things like just I know for me, I can imagine just not being close to the arena can even feel weird sometimes, which is weird to say, but I mean, we're all super fans here, man. Let's just be honest about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's interesting. I mean, definitely, obviously can't get out to many Pistons games. So whenever I'm back in Michigan, I always go to as many as I can. I haven't been to a Lakers Pistons game yet, but I did go to Clippers Pistons a couple times. I was at Seku's first start. That was fun.
Oh yeah.
And, not in the league anymore, but we'll he'll be back.
Dude, I'm surprised he didn't even make a COVID team run. You know what I mean? Like,
honestly,
he wasn't even brought in as a COVID reserve. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. You're right.
That also brings up a good point that in my 8 years of the Twitter thing, I'm wrong more times than I'm right. So it's like when I'm right, you guys all hear about it.
We all were wrong on that one. Yeah. I've never seen. Oh, maybe that's another thing right there where we used to really hype up those guys because we needed them to be a KayCunningham, dude. We needed Sekou to be that kind of guy. But now that we actually see what that's like, I think we all can acknowledge what a world of difference Sekou and KayCunningham is.
Yeah,
right?
we were right there, though. We were right there. Like Carmelo was right there. And they just
I know.
Why did you bring that up?
Every other pick since then, we've been like, that's the one. I did it with Drummond, yo. I really did. I was like, yo, Drummond is about to be that deal. He's taking us to the promised land.
Yeah.
Look, you know me on Twitter, bro. I held on to that for a long time. So
I was there with you though.
We held on tight. It just Sekou.
If you go back and look at the last 20 years, basically since Grant Hill. If you look at every single pick, it just hurts.
Yeah, it does.
Like
It's
up until Sadiq Bey, basically
hey,
Isaiah Stewart.
Don't forget about Summer League legend Henry Allenson, bro.
And Austin Day.
Yeah, and Austin Day. That's a good list, man. Henry Allenson was like Dirk Nowitzki in the Orlando Magic Summer League gym, dude.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yo, how many random Pistons can we name from Summer League?
Too many.
Oh, yeah, too many.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why we were ready. That's why we were ready.
And that's why we're still here.
Yeah. Yep. Deuce, I want to know what's the pick that you fell for? What's the guy that you were excited about that fooled you a little bit, or that broke your heart? I know for me, Brandon Knight. That's mine.
Brandon Knight. You guys remember Rodney Williams?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was going to be the whole league. Everybody in the league was talking about this guy. He's a unicorn. You know, we were hearing that for the first time back then. This guy, he can do it all. He's a point forward. He's this. He's that.
It was so close though.
Yes.
I'm just sitting here. I'm just like, dog, you're right. Yo, we all got like back then. Jeez. Walter, Sleepy Shark?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all remember that when Dumars took a person with narcolepsy?
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, I remember that.
Walter Sharp. I remember that.
They called him Sleepy Shark, man. Like I see somebody else say Kyle Singler in the chat. Some pretty random Pistons out there, man.
Yeah.
Hey, don't forget Pistons legend Carlos Delfino.
Delfino.
The next he was a contributor a little bit though.
I liked him. It was Željko Rabraci.
He had the most. He I'm sorry, but he just.
Which one, Željko?
No, Delfino. Delfino. He just looked like a D-bag. I'm sorry, but he did.
But he could hoop. I liked him, man. He was like what, Ginobili light, or at least that's what Piston fans tried to turn him into.
Yeah.
100%. So looking back, kind of talking more about getting into kind of like the basketball and kind of like what we've seen this season from the Pistons. I think, as a lot of us, we've established, we've been around this, or we've seen this team for quite a while. We've followed quite a few seasons, and even though this one has had a lot of losses, just like last year, there was a lot of really productive wins. I want to throw out to you guys, if you had to give a letter grade to the Pistons overall as an organization this season, what would it be and why?
I think first half of the season gets a D.
Yeah.
Second half of the season, somehow it's an A. It's been as good of a second half as you'd ask for.
I think you can round it to B plus.
Yeah, we can do that.
Overall.
Overall.
Yeah, dude. So I'm curious to hear what you got to say about that one too, man. Because I know the way your mind works as it relates to the analytics and the basketball flow of things. But what about you, man? How you seeing it?
Well, if King was here, the first thing out of his mouth would be Corey Joseph. But
what's up?
He's probably in the comments ripping on Corey Joseph right now, bro.
Absolutely. I love the second half of the season. We've really been able to see the development of the young guys.
Yeah,
I think that's one of the single most important things that isn't really imperative to our growth. You think about the last regime with Stan Van Gundy and just how it felt like he was just trying to keep his job, But now with this regime, it seems everybody's all in on the process. And so the second half of the season, you really saw the young guys really getting an opportunity to really show what they can do. And that's going to open things up for us come off season. Guys are being able to show their value. Guys are being able to kind of somewhat establish roles going into next season. So I think the second half of this year has really helped us and helped, Pistons Nation as a whole really see what we have. And I think this offseason is going to really help us to see what we have going into next season.
Yeah. I also think it's also one of those things where I think we do have to remember too, a big contributor to this team playing better down the stretch, I would argue, is that they were finally healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw for a lot of the first season, first part of the season, people forget, man. I mean, we played with Trey Lyles as our backup big for 2.5 months.
I will say he had games where he also looked like dirt. He looked like Henry Ellenson Summer League version, you know? He had those games.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, there were some games where Trey Lyles was a bucket. I was like, who the hell is this guy, bro?
Bro, he did
But
not have. You knew if the ball went to Trey Lyles, he is going to the basket, shooting, layup, something, bro.
Yeah,
but
him and Josh Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And Troy Weaver, he was able to flip that, though. You know, I remember a lot of people got really, really upset with Sekou getting basically launched into the moon. And him effectively getting Trey Lyles. People said, is Trey Lyles better? Hey, look, I don't know what Troy Weaver is doing. I don't know what he's doing to these other GMs. But to say, I thought it would have always taken a Sekou, throw in a Sekou to get a Marvin Bagley. He said, nah, I'm going to get rid of Sekou and give you Trey Lyles and Josh Jackson for Marvin Bagley.
And then 2 second-round picks that aren't even mine. That I just had in the cupboard.
I don't get it, man. Like, what is it about
He's a wizard?
Trey Wizard.
I think it's his eye for talent, man. I think he understands the fact that if you're just going to give up on these guys throughout the season, you know, like, or like if you just give up on these guys too early, that you're squandering what kind of potential they can have. And even though Marvin Bagley's never going to be a Luka Doncic, he's never going to be what that top of the draft class was. He can still be a really good player. He can still contribute. Yeah. He can still contribute on a winning team. He can still, he's 20 years old. So like the fact that we still talk about him like, oh, well, he's this, you know, we know what he is. The hell we do. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's just a big piece. And, you know, I think the next piece, if we're just talking about, you know, polarizing figures or things that were big conversations throughout the season. Gonna crack my fingers a little on this one. We got Dwayne Casey and his coaching decisions and whether or not he should be the coach for this team. And now I know a lot of people have a lot of different opinions. I think it's fair to say that that as a community, I think the fire Dwayne Casey talks have calmed down a little bit.
Just a little bit.
But I want to know what your guys' thoughts have been on Dwayne this season, but also just what you think is the path forward with that position.
Well, I'll say this. I think the criticism on Dwayne Casey's been kind of harsh. It's very hard when you're in a rebuild, you know, when you have fans who have very high standards, you know. But to me, Dwayne Casey is someone who really reminds me, reminiscent of Mark Jackson, someone who knows how to build a foundation, build a culture, really help a young team to really come into their own and grow. Is he the guy to help us get over the hump as far as winning a championship? I don't know. We haven't seen it with him. But I do think that he is the right guy for this team right now, considering who we have on this team. And looking at what he's done, this team reminds me of the 2013, 2014 team that was losing to the Brooklyn Nets in the playoffs in the 7-game series. That team played tough. That team played together. That team played tough defense, and they were fun to watch. So is he the guy to get us over the hump? I don't know, but I think he's the guy right now to help solidify that foundation in a winning culture here.
Yeah,
that's well thought. That's well said.
Yeah, absolutely. Jordan, what are your thoughts?
I agree. Like, so first half of the season, like I said, I'm like terrible for everybody, basically. That's when I was getting a little sus about Dwayne still being here next year, but I think he's absolutely earned it. Like, we've seen the progress of all the young guys now from point A to point B from the beginning of the season till now. I think at the very least, you let him run it back with this team that, you know, play in aspirations next year, depending on how the summer goes. But I think, long term, I don't know. I think at some point there might be a graceful transition into the front office for him. I know that's sort of been reported at the end of his contract, but I think at least for now, like we've seen the progress. We've seen now at least the second half of the season, like competing every single game. Like I don't think we've lost by double digits since the All-Star break.
Right.
But and we've been playing with a lot of G League guys at this point now. But I think he's definitely the man for right now.
Yeah, we've been hovering around 500 since the All-Star break. Yeah. Like people don't realize like this team is I think some of that could be due to the fact that, we finally had someone that could expand over the rim. Some of it could just be our health, but also, I mean, let's be honest, KayCunningham is he is him. KayCunningham is that guy. Oh dear God, this guy is that dude.
That's Cade, man. That's Cade. That's what everybody's been saying. At least, not everybody. Everybody was saying Cade was that deal before the Pistons got the #1 pick. Right. And since then, it's been an uphill battle to just tell people, just look at him. Just watch the games. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Look, they're throwing his stats out the window. They're saying, well, he's just getting the stats because he's on a bad team. Right. And then they're saying, well, he should contribute to winning. And it's like, why are we judging KayCunningham based off of the situation he was drafted into? That's not what the rookie of the year. It's not about the best position you're in. It's about the best rookie, period. Yes. It burns me up. It burns me. That's why I love when you go into full on, I'm going to give Cade his flowers mode because he deserves it. And to see the media, we all grew up talking about how biased it was. Like, I know all of us on this call probably grew up talking about how the media was anti-Detroit. I never believed we would have a player of Cade's caliber. And you hear this man's name mentioned along the greatest rookie seasons of all time. And they would just absolutely be shafting them the way they are in the media. And now they're trying to play catch up at the end. Now you see, report here, this report here, this interview. Yay, we covered KayCunningham. This guy was having a historic rookie season and realistically putting up all-star caliber numbers. I asked Rod this on the show the other day, like, yo, do you truly believe that KayCunningham can sneak into the all-star game next year? And at first you go, what? But then, like, think about it. LaMelo Ball snuck in this year.
Yep.
I believe that KayCunningham is tremendously a better player. Like, I give LaMelo his credit, but I'm sorry, man. KayCunningham is a unicorn. Give him that label.
I think what Cade has shown so far that maybe what I wonder what LaMelo would in the future is I think Cade understands more about what those little steps take to win games. Now, I think obviously the Hornets are in the play-in tournament. And a lot of that is because of the play of LaMelo. Don't get me wrong. However, I mean, he certainly has a good supporting cast there too. But I think Cade, I think watching that Dallas Pistons game last night, you can't help but look at the parallels of the game of Luka Doncic and KayCunningham as far as how they approach the game and how they play. I mean, just stylistically, the way that they both affect the game, and they're just both complete players. You know what I mean? And the fact that Cade has a complete skill set and a versatile, like, again, he can affect the game in different ways, but ultimately his focus is what are the ways I can affect the game in a way that affects winning? Because he'll put up 26, but it's not an empty 26. You know what I mean? Yeah. It means something.
And then he'll get back on defense. There were 3 plays, you guys probably all saw 3 from last night, where he was putting the clamps on Luka. When was the last time you saw LaMelo or Luka put the clamps on any superstar? Or even
the last time I did was when I had a shocking thing like my guy Everything King coming into the
What's up, King?
What's going on, brother?
Hey,
How
what's
you
going
doing,
on? What's going on, gentlemen? What's going on? What's going on, Jordan? How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How about you?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Love talking Pistons. Let's get to it.
And this part of the segment is called Legend to Legend Speak. King and Pistons Thought.
We'll take it.
It's like we're sitting at freaking Pistons Twitter Godfather right now.
Hey, bro, I'm listening at the movies right now. I'm taking it in.
Just old guys, man. Just the OGs, I guess you can say that.
Yep.
Oh man, yeah. So King, we're talking about this guy. You might have heard of him. His name is KayCunningham.
Oh yeah, heard of that guy. Yeah,
familiar.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's top 4 rookie.
He's about top 4, right out, maybe right on the outside, somewhere around.
Okay.
There.
Yeah,
he'll catch up to Franz Wagner at some point.
Yo, how did national media just straight take over our stream right now?
Oh, but let me tell you about Scotty Barnes.
Wait. No, listen. I do want to comment on something that I heard you guys talking about. Dwayne Casey. I like Dwayne Casey. I only had one problem with him, and y'all know what that problem was. But I never had a problem with him as a coach. He came here, he had somewhat of some guys around here. Then you thrust it into this rebuild. So we kind of just gotta, give him credit for being able to stick to that and develop some of these guys, because some of these guys are developing pretty well. So you got to give him his credit. Is he the guy that's going to take us to the cup? We don't know. Like I said, he was coach of the year. It's not his fault he had to go against LeBron James in the playoffs, man. So, we don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But him going to the front office eventually is probably something that's going to have to happen. I mean, Casey's getting up there in age too, man. So sitting on the sidelines yelling at these young guys, man, I don't know how long he's going to be able to do that. But I don't know. We just have to wait and see about that situation.
Yeah, that's a great point, King, that you think about it. What if they kept him one more year and LeBron goes elsewhere? And in that
Detroit?
In that same token, if he stays in Toronto, he gets Kawhi Leonard. What happens then if Casey's still coach?
Absolutely. What happened to Sean? Oh, they muted their mics. I seen them talking. I'm like, wait a minute. What's going on?
We just had something weird with our camera on our end. It was like super laggy. So just dealing with some technical stuff on our end. But hey, that's not stopping us. We're doing good. But anyway, cool. Yeah, man, I agree with you. I also, again, it's my biggest pet peeve with the KayCunningham or the Dwayne Casey argument. It's, if you look at it realistically, Dwayne Casey leaves Toronto and then ultimately they win the championship. And it's like, oh yeah, you're right. There's nothing else that happened and there's no other context that matters in that situation at all. Like, I don't know, the existence of Kawhi Leonard in a Raptors uniform. Like, I don't know, the existence of the existence of LeBron James going to the Los Angeles Lakers and not being in the Eastern Conference to deal with, little things like that would make a difference, and also the injuries of the Warriors in the finals, the lucky bounce that Kawhi's shot had, all these things that can contribute to a championship. But no, it's Dwayne Casey. He was the problem.
I think the video makes it even more, man. It just gives it even more of an effect, y'all. I don't know what's going on with the video.
Do you guys see the videos like lagging for you guys?
You're
what's
glitching hard.
We're just waiting for you to catch up. We're waiting for it to catch up.
Yeah, man.
But he was going, though. He was preaching.
Yeah,
he was.
You could tell retroactively how hard I was going on it. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, the audio is all that matters. The audio is all that matters.
King
the audio is the high quality part, man.
King Jordan and myself were just sitting here like,
believe me, I'm like, I'm watching myself talk and seeing myself of 10 seconds ago, and I'm like, what is going on here? But
Piston thoughts. I don't mean to interject here. I just wanted to ask you, bro, as far as this upcoming draft, who do you have your eye on? Anybody in particular?
So I've been just the top four. I haven't dug deep enough yet. Like, I'm pretty happy if we're top four. I think whoever falls, it's fine. I think it's going to be a good fit. I like Ivy. I've heard there's the attitude issues, sort of like seems like a Jalen Green situation loosely. But I think like pairing him next to Cade or pairing any of the bigs next to Cade, like it's just, I don't think you can go wrong. That's where I'm at right now. I haven't dug deep enough yet.
Gotcha.
Like I said, literally, I don't, how you go wrong in that situation. I don't see anybody being put next to Cade, coming out on a bad end of the stick. So if we got thrusted back to the 6th spot and took somebody like Durant, I still wouldn't be mad. Like I said, it's going to be fun, over this period of time during the offseason, looking at some of these other guys that I haven't had a chance to. But anybody in that top 4, top 5, man, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I would agree.
And it's like we know Troy Weaver is going to get the right guy at the top, wherever he ends up.
Yep.
Yeah, there's that trust factor because we've seen that he's been able to take and get value with those first-round picks. Oh my God, I actually
You're normal. You're normal.
You're normal out of nowhere.
Hey, what I'm saying, dude, let's go.
You're normal again.
We're no longer on the acid trip in this stream, man. Oh my God.
We can open our eyes and look at you again.
Bro, it was so dope though because he was preaching and his mouth was like.
Yeah, it looked like one of those. It looked like one of those.
I was on like my Lucifer or something like that, man. That was
old karate movie or something.
Yeah, Godzilla movie back in the day, Pistons style.
Said Sean talking in the future.
Oh my gosh! All right, yeah, Sean talking in the future. I like that one. All right, but bringing it back in. So, the elephant in the room, Jordan. I want to know. Of those top 4 guys, what is your rank? If you had your wish, what is your rank of the top 4 prospects that you would want to see in a Pistons uniform?
I'm not informed enough yet to give it to you, but let me pull up. I ran a poll a couple days ago. Let me see. Give me a second to find it. Okay, I got it right here.
You gotta have at least. You gotta have at least one you like, though. You gotta have at least one, even if it's not an informed opinion. You got to at least have one that tugs at your heartstrings, bro. Don't tell me you don't.
Look, my people say Paolo. They say he's the man. He got 44% of the votes here. Ivy was 4th, so that's fine. But a lot of people are scared about Chet, and I get it. With, frame issues, like, can he hold up? But it's like, I wouldn't take him number 1 probably, but if you're 3 or 4 and he's there, like, you do it. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Uninformed as hell.
It's gonna suck. Like I said, if you take him at 1 and then Banchero turns out to be what everybody thinks he is, it's really gonna suck for you.
Yeah.
No, yeah, absolutely, man. I personally fall in the Chet in the Chet category. I just really believe in his upside. As we're still speaking in the future again. But I just really believe in his game, man. And I think a lot of people put too much value into performance in the tournament. In particular, people forget Cade didn't really have a great tournament himself. A lot of guys just don't have great tourneys. So that's just the way of the game. I think Paulo, my one thing with him, and I understand that there's a lot to like, but where was he the rest of the season? And why isn't he always trying this hard in the defensive end? And why, where's the consistency? I do kind of see like the Julius Randle comparisons that are out there, the good and the bad with it. That's something that definitely comes to mind for me. I'm not sure what you guys think about some of that.
I'm personally a Jabari Smith guy. I always go back to who is going to fit the best next to KayCunningham. He doesn't dominate the ball. He's a good shooter. He can space the floor. He's great. He's a dog. I love his edge. If you watch him in the tournament, he is coming at guys. He has the attitude. He's got the fire. To me, he feels like a Detroit type of player as far as his intensity and his intangibles. You can't go wrong with any of these guys, but I just feel like he would be a great second or third option who wouldn't dominate the ball. Because one thing we all agree on, we don't want to take the ball out of KayCunningham's hands, right? By any means necessary. So I think Jabari is the natural fit next to Cade, but you really can't go wrong with any of those guys.
Yeah. I've heard that too. That Jabari is kind of the player that people want to see next to Cade. I kind of want to see Jabari as well, but Jaden Ivey is the one that just kind of intrigues me. I don't know, exactly what his ceiling is going to be, but in terms of the fit, it's intriguing, man. Like, can you imagine?
It sure is enticing, man.
That explosive kind of high energy guard that can get the ball a little bit out of Cade's hand, takes his usage down a little bit, gets his efficiency up just a little bit. I don't know, man. It just kind of interests me. But Jabari, if you land there, this is me thinking I don't think that the Pistons are going to get the number 1 draft pick. If they get the number 1 draft pick, then this is like last year when we were talking about getting excited, making ourselves excited about Jalen Green.
Right.
And we did this last year. And that's all I'm saying. If we fall, I like, the 4 guys, the 4 names we keep hearing are what? Jabari, Banchero, Chet, and Ivy, right?
Yeah. Well, now there's a lot of people, and I'm even seeing it in the comments. It's, Matherin out of Arizona, which, I know that's kind of a hot name. But again, I think a lot of that comes from tournament play and things like that. I'm going to be honest. I know, I still want to look more in the Mathurin's game on my end, but I still wouldn't put him above any of the top 4 right now. I am intrigued on his upside though, because he can ball. He absolutely can ball.
Yep. Hey, I'll let you go. Ken, you about to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, when it comes to the 4, my pick is Jabari Parker. I mean, I said Jabari Parker. Good Lord, Jabari Smith.
Jabari Parker.
We got to get Jabari Parker.
Yeah. No, heck no. No, but Jabari Smith is my choice. I just like the way he would fit with this offense in general. As far as the tournament and what guys did during the season, you can go back and forth about that. Me, when I evaluate guys, is usually I'm seeing what these guys would be like on my team. What type of role would they play on this team? Because they're coming in here to be a piece. You know what I'm saying? So they're not coming in here to be ball dominant. They're not coming to be that guy. We have him already.
Yeah, we have Batman. We're looking for Robin.
Right. Exactly. Right. I wouldn't even say Robin. I would say like Batgirl or something, because I feel like next season Sadiq Bey becomes Robin. You know what I'm saying? He's already Robin to me right now. So like I said, I would prefer to go the big route. I'm not as much on the Ivy train. Like I said, and the John Morant comparisons drive me nuts.
Well, because again, it's just a guy that runs to the hoop and drives to the basket.
And Stanley Johnson
has that type of hairstyle. It's John Morant. It's like
Jaden Ivey needs to get a fade.
You actually watch them play basketball. Their games aren't like he doesn't have that athleticism, man. That's a different breed.
Yeah. His levels.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like John Morant's literally
he's talented,
like reincarnated Allen Iverson, dude. Like he's not that.
He is talented. The kid is talented, though. There's no denying that, man. On the next level, I don't know what type of player he turns out to be, but he probably is the last on my list of those 4.
Yeah, and what I wanted to ask is actually going to go with a few of these things that I'm seeing from people. Talking about that lottery pick from Portland, if Troy Weaver decides that Jeremy Grant will be better off traded for that pick, if we got that second pick and the Pistons didn't get the first round pick, do you package those picks and move up for Jabari Smith? Do you think he's that guy? Or do you just take 2 shots at some top tier rookie players and plug them alongside KayCunningham, because exactly what Scan Williams said, having a building block like K, you could basically choose any prospect.
Exactly.
What are you doing? One, are you trading Grant? And we'll let Jordan open up. Are you trading Grant for those picks from Portland? And 2, what are you doing with those picks if we don't get the first?
I think if we end up with the 2 picks, I think you just keep them where they are. I don't think you package them to move up. And I think the Jeremy Grant trade depends. I think you wait until the pick comes, like on draft night. If your guy falls, like if you have a guy who falls to 12 where they're projected to be, I think you can do it. Kind of like the Sadiq Bey situation where it's like, just make sure your guy's going to be there. I don't think you just trade Grant to get the pick before draft night. Grant's interesting, but it also kind of depends who you draft. So if you draft one of the bigs, I think it makes the most sense to get rid of Grant. But if you don't, if you end up with Ivy or one of the guards, like, I don't think it's an issue to keep Grant, especially like post trade deadline. Like him, Sadiq, and Cade finally started playing. It's like I can't get over how much they flipped the switch. Like the whole team did in general, but like those 3 together, just all like it didn't look like they were playable together before that. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, like 60 plus points combined every night. Like it's going well.
And remember when Jeremy Grant was like, remember when all those reports came out that Jeremy Grant wanted to be a primary scoring option, and that and Pistons fans flipped that into him being a diva, and that that was going to cost us from trading him, as if that was what was going on, which in reality he conceded and allowed Cade to be the number 1 scoring option.
And I got to interject there. I have to interject there. Rod Beard, and these clips will be coming out vehemently, as has the organization, denied that. They said Jeremy Grant never intimated that. They said that Jeremy Grant's just not that type of guy, and that what he's actually intimated was trying to Sean's point, was trying to make sure he deliberately takes a step back to let these young guys shine, because Jeremy Grant has a type of game that can just fit in where you got to get in. And that's what I like about Jeremy Grant. That's what makes it a little bit difficult to say, do you trade this guy? Do you just let him go? Because much dead money, they have more dead money on the books right now. A lot more dead money on the books right now than it would take to give Jeremy Grant his raise. They can give wherever King went, they can give Kojo his money. That's what it would take to give him raise every year. It's just a Kojo.
Did somebody just cuss? I heard a cuss word.
Kool-Aid. Did you see how fast he came back?
Turn the camera right back on.
So, King, my next question: how many years are we giving Corey the supermax, and what kind of penthouse are we getting him? Are we getting him something nice?
With him being a guy, and K being the fourth option, so we got to fit the team around Corey Joseph. We got to go out and draft some guys that give him some help, since we have absolutely no one on this team who can help Corey.
Oh man.
Yep.
Yeah, we got to hire more guys, guys to wipe the floor, because he always seems to be down there.
Zero.
Listen, I said I was done with the Corey. Would y'all stop poking at me?
Oh my gosh. All right. So now I think it's important to have a discussion. Kind of thinking, we talked a little bit about the near future. We talked a little about the draft stuff, but how about free agency? How about our expectations just for next season as a whole? Do you expect this to be a season where we start to use that salary cap space, or is this just going to be, because I know there's reports that we're interested in the services of Jalen Brunson out of Dallas. Yeah. I know those reports. Mm-hmm. They're not dying down, man. That's the second time we've heard them.
That makes me excited.
Yeah, it's interesting. So I want to know what you guys are thinking about it.
What up, Bo?
What up, Bo?
How much? How much is what I want to know for Brunson? How much?
Yeah, that's a good question. I feel like he's going to command around $20 million a year. For me, an ideal contract for Brunson, and I know it's unrealistic, would be like 16 a year, like 4 years, $64 million contract. Like bring him in, be like our sixth man off the bench, be like our backup point guard. I feel like that would be a great role for him.
I know we're excited about the cap space this summer, but I think it might not be wise to use it. I think we might be better off doing the 1 year. Let's work it in trades. Like, you can run this team back with the draft picks, another vet or two. Make sure your center rotation is good. Make sure you have a shooting guard who's not Corey Joseph. Run this team back with that. And I think you got a shot at the play-in. I don't think Jalen Brunson's worth 20. I don't think, as much as I like Aiden and I think he would be a perfect fit, we don't want to go down the Andre Drummond route again. You don't want to max center like that again. And again, some of it is a little contingent on playoff performances too. If they show us something more, then we can revisit and it'll drive the price up. But I think we kind of run it back. Use our money in trades. I don't think you spend a lot of long-term money this summer.
Yeah, no, I think that this year, if they do anything, there are players to get excited about. For the money, we don't know. But what I've heard is if they do something major, it's going to be through the trade market. They have the ability during the draft to be able to take on a player that another team is either trying to dump or a mid-level player that, we want to take a flyer here, take one of our a couple of second-round picks from a low-level player to make it in exchange for a player that you think can help in the rotation right away.
There's something that's been floated around on Pistons Twitter quite a bit over the last few days that about the idea of the Pistons going for Zion Williamson. Now, I'm not sure what in the hell I'm not sure what in the Sam Hell people are looking at that situation and say, I want that on my team. Sign me up. I'm not sure how people look at that and say, oh, well, that's a Troy Weaver guy right there, because quite frankly, I don't see it. But personally, guys, let's not rush this stuff, man. It's a flashy name. It's a flashy name. It's not a pillar of our franchise.
No.
I don't think they realize that we have Coney Island here in Detroit. He would literally probably eat every Coney Island dog that you can, every chili dog you can order. He probably would eat it, man. That's the problem now. He's just eating gumbo and he's getting bigger and bigger. And no, no, seriously.
If we sign him, he will be asking Cade if he's been to beans and cornbread yet.
Listen, I listen, it's Zion. You know, it's a name. We all know what it is. But you have to you got to prove it to me first. I need to see you play. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Before I even consider even bring you anywhere near my team. I don't want to be the team to say, hey, let's get him and try to change this. That's why I was so against the Ben Simmons thing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You go out there and play. You know, I want to see something first before I want you on my team. That's just me personally.
Hey, Chuck Brewer, man, he said he'd rather have Sean be
man, Chuck, you're wild as hell, man. You say stuff, dude. He says stuff to me all the time where I'm just like, what the like he just he tweeted something like under like something I said one time where he was like, I'm proud of you, man, but you still need help. And I'm like, what does that mean, man? What the hell? Oh, but I respect it. Chuck, glad you're here, man. Appreciate it. But you wild, man.
Okay, Marvin. I see you want to start with this Kelly Olynyk thing, man. It's part of the reason. It's my only question. To be honest, my only question mark about Banchero, because we already have a problem right now with bigs that just won't give it to you on the defensive end. So that's my only question mark with Banchero.
Okay.
Pistons can't afford him, Chuck. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, there's just a lot that I don't like with that. But you know, as far as like expectations for next season, kind of going into like that conversation, because I think that's one that's more interesting to have, in my opinion. I think the Pistons are going to be out of the business of intentionally losing games. Yep. And I think it's going to be in the business of pursuing the play-in and actually trying to get in the playoffs, because I think they realize they have the pieces to begin those pushes and to start getting that experience.
100%.
And I think that has to be the expectation.
Yeah. Jordan?
Since the All-Star break, they're 10-12, 22 games. Good sample. Like, we're starting to see the team healthy. Progress from the young guys. Like, Killian's been balling lately. Like, I don't think we're going to have a 500 record next season necessarily, but, like, I think we're going to see a bigger jump than people think. And I think playing is very legit possibility. And if Sadiq takes another step, if Stu takes another step, Killian does what he's been doing the last 10 games, I think you got a real shot.
Well, let me pose the question then, man. Let's be realistic. Let's be realistic here. If the Pistons are going to add another top draft pick, right? They may add another
championship.
They may add another top 2 or 3 draft picks. And this is Detroit Kool-Aid posing the question, so I'm not even going to give the answer. It may be tainted. But seriously, man, a couple nice draft picks, anything decent, see if it's taking back in a player, acquiring a player. Where are the Pistons landing? You said that they were 10-12, you know, after the All-Star break. We see what they are with Cade. We know that they're going to take a leap forward as it relates to Cade, Sadiq, Killian, and the rest of these young guys, and they may have Jeremy. Where are they going to be at next year? Let's be for real, because this team may have a lot more talent than some of the teams we've said we want to see them be like that's made the play-in.
I think they'll be a 9th seed in the play-in. I think, in my opinion, I think the Eastern Conference is only getting deeper. Tougher. It's only getting deeper, man. I mean, talk about teams that are surging in the second half. The reason why Scotty Barnes is coming up is because the Toronto Raptors are surging as a team. They are coming alive right now, and they have been on a hot streak, man. That's not even counting Brooklyn. You know that they're going to be active and doing everything that they can to put a better roster around that team. There's Milwaukee, there's Chicago, there's Cleveland, like there's Charlotte, there's there's a lot of even the Wizards are going to be someone we're going to compete with in the play-in picture with a Bradley Beal, Kristaps Porzingis thing. So I think being realistic of the Eastern Conference does have a lot of depth, but I think we can end up in that 9th, 8th place in the play-in tournament and really do everything we can to try and get in there.
Yeah,
I think if we make the play-in,
you guys got to put it in on wax, man. What is the realistic outlook for the Pistons with everything with this big off season, man?
I would say. Go ahead. No, I would say play-in position, but in best case scenario, somewhere around 7.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go with
7 straight championship, right?
I'm gonna go as high as 6. I really think the Pistons are gonna surprise some teams, surprise the league next year. I really think this offseason is going to be very, very important. We've had guys out, we've had guys injured. It's been hard to really get the camaraderie and chemistry consistently, even with K being out. So I think this offseason with Casey, I'm gonna put it on wax. I'm gonna say 6 seed next year.
Also, first real offseason.
Yes.
First real offseason.
Yeah.
Cade's gonna have a training camp too. Imagine what that'll help.
Isn't that gonna be fun? He won't get off to a 14-point average to start his career coming off injury again.
Right.
And then, people can stop talking.
Yep.
Yeah, and with that, what kind of step do we expect from Cade in year 2? If we're seeing what Cade's been like down this stretch, I mean, what's fair to, I think All-Star is a realistic possibility.
I think I'm not expecting it, but I think if LaMelo could do it, I think 19 games since the All-Star break, Cade's 21-6-6 basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that's,
I'll tell you what,
that's all I got. And then he gets real help. He gets real teammates coming in next year and a full offseason for the young guys. I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And if he gets stronger and a little bit more athletic.
I was just about to say.
Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yep.
No. If he gets stronger and if the refs give him just a little bit more respect next season,
that'd be cool.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Well,
just a little bit.
We have a better record next year than the Lakers did this year. That is brutal, man.
Yes.
God, I hope so.
Yes.
Also, I did release a video today shitting on the Lakers. So after this stream's done, be sure to go check that out.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun. My Twitter my green screen had the LeBron tweet where he told me to keep that same energy. So I just did what he asked me to do, and I kept the energy going. I maintained said energy for him. So
y'all gotta tune in, man. Whenever this guy gets going, you gotta tune in.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. It's good stuff for sure.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Question for you. Oh, Mario just asked the question that I wanted to ask you guys. What is the biggest improvement you want to see from Cade this offseason going into next season? And Mario kind of got the ball rolling, so I'll let you guys chime in. What you think?
Yeah,
turnovers, 100%.
Man, you are a special guest.
Just turnovers. You get the whole team in general, but Cade more specifically. Get the turnovers under control. Start, talking to the league office to get a couple more foul calls a game. And then
I think the turnover thing, I'm not worried just for the sole reason that I think that's just the case of being a young player. I think with him growing, the game's only gonna slow down more and more, and we're already seeing it do so. In my opinion, other than the turnovers, because I think it's consensus, right? Yeah. I think his consistency in his 3-point shot is definitely something that would help his game a lot too. I think we're a lot of our guys have the capability to be really good jump shooters. I think Cade is a great shot in the mid range. I think he's great in the close to the basket, getting caught, using his body to create separation and finish at the basket easily. But I think that consistency, he has the confidence to hit that outside shot, and he can hit a clutch 3 for sure. But I think he just has to continue to grow that and get better. And I think that's what I want to see out of Saddiq Bey too. Personally, I think if I don't see another 1 for 13 3 performance from Saddiq Bey, I would be happy because it's like every third game, bro. It's like it feels like it's like once every 4 or 5 times he's out there.
Yeah. But with K, with the turnovers, when you look at the game, and we've talked about this before, it's not bad plays. It's exactly what we have highlighted on the screen. It's getting stronger with the basketball, man. You see him making the right plays. He can get bumped off his position a little bit easy sometimes as he fills out a little bit more as Ashton, the trainer, and he continue to work out through these summers. As his vegan diet gets more rigorous.
As they find that vegan beans and cornbread. Yeah.
He is. And when he does, it's going to get scary because look at everything he's doing right now, and he doesn't have that full NBA strength yet. The passes he's trying to make, some of them that he gets turnovers on, they're not necessarily bad passes. They're kind of a little bit careless. On the Woodward Pistons podcast, I gotta plug it with Rod. We were talking about that. See, Kill can make that pass really, really, really good. He can make that pass really good. That one-handed pass to the corners, as well as passes to the lane. With K, I don't know if it's a lack of foul calls or a lack of just strength or a mix of both. But as those two things kind of increase and get better and improve, we're going to see KayCunningham take some leaps that I'm going to just put it on wax. If those things get better over the years, we're going to see a better player than I believe Grant Hill was here in the Pistons.
Yeah, took the words out of my mouth.
KayCunningham will win an MVP in the next 10 years. Book it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, King, you get going, man. Get on the soapbox, King. Straight up.
No, man. Seriously, I think it's a combination of both, man. It's not like he's just out there recklessly throwing the ball to the other team, So, it's instinctive most of the times when you're looking at guys like him and Killian, man. But yeah, you know what, man? You guys are something else, okay?
Marvin, all right.
You are something else.
Marvin a freak for real. That's all I get.
I listen, Marvin does this all the time, man. All the time. So, but no, I totally agree with you, Kool-Aid, man. I think it's a combination of both.
That's a good point, BHJ. That is a really, really good point. As we talk about KayCunningham's development, his steps in year 2, and what he can be in year 2, he has to get better on the defensive side of things. That is something, man.
I agree with that. I don't think it's an Andre Drummond situation where for like months he was out of the game in the first 2 minutes of the game with 2 fouls. But it's definitely something that he needs to watch. He's getting the foul trouble a little bit too early. But it seems like toward the end of the season, it's been happening less and less. Like there was a period where he was going out, 9 minutes into the game, he was out 2 fouls. But it seems like
there were nights where it was 4. Like there were nights where it was like 3 minutes into the game, this guy had 2 or 3 fouls.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Need to work on getting passes.
Somebody with a wrench, kick him out of here.
Straight up though, like imagine when Cade has an actual shooting guard that he's starting with. Because Cade, Corey Joseph's not playing defense on the best guard, not successfully at least, right? So get him a guard. Literally any starting shooting guard or even any bench shooting guard who can start, it's better than Corey Joseph, opens up the game 10 times more. And get him a Marvin Bagley, which we already got him. So give him a lot to it.
To kind of piggyback off that, bro, we were talking about Jalen Brunson earlier. As far as a backcourt mate for Cade, do you guys think that Killian can, not next year specifically, but can he be that backcourt running mate for Cade in the long run? Do you guys think he can be that?
It all comes down to shooting.
Yeah. It just comes down to if he can hit a consistent jump shot, he has almost everything else that complements him in a lot of different ways. With his size, with his overall defensive versatility, the amount of guys he can guard. I mean, the times that we've looked at Killian, and it looks like he can be all NBA defensive team as far as the intangibles he has on that end. And you know, and you know, it's interesting. James Edwards III talked about how he asked Cade, or he asked Killian about getting contact and getting to the rim, and like using his body to like bump into guys, and like what that's been like for him, and what kind of has been the trigger of like, you know, he's been more aggressive with it, has been like intentional. And like one of the things he said was like, it was really interesting perspective. It was, well, he wasn't, you know, he was smaller. So like, like instinctively he's playing when he was small. It's like, I mean, he's a young kid. He grew a ton. He's 6'5". He's freaking buff. He's not used to that. And so it's learning to play with that size. It's learning how it affects your game, because it's one thing to go out and get muscle. You know, like KayCunningham, we talk about how he needs to get stronger. He still uses his body to put him in positions to succeed. You know, it's all about how you use it and leverage it. And with that strength, with the body that Killian has, it's obvious he could be elite with that if he wanted to be. So it's just, you know, you know, he doesn't have to be this elite scorer, just be an NBA level scorer, please God. And yet he can absolutely be there.
And we talk about it with Killian, man. Everybody says it's his confidence. And I used to think it was solely just strength, solely just learning the game. But realistically, when you look at Killian, we saw flashes of the strength last year. He wasn't bad defensively last year. And to be good defensively, you got to have strength. You got to be somebody who can hold your own. He held his own against even bigger players. But I'm starting to think that his confidence issues might be lying with his shot or lack thereof. And what type of player is Killian if he can just be a guy who doesn't have to think, crap, am I going to miss it as soon as he shoots? You know, that stuff messes with your head. You know, anybody that's hooped on any level, bro, even if you're on a Nerf rim, I can go in there on my son's rim right now. You know what I'm saying? If you're thinking too much in your head, that's going to kill your whole game. When we see Killian, we talk about, especially, I don't know why, man, them Atlanta games, the Sacramento games, there's a couple teams that Killian goes in there, you just see a different look on his face, you know, a little bit different pizzazz to his game, man. The handle got a little bit more hop on it. It just looks like, oh, all of the things we said he couldn't do, we see him doing. But where's the consistency? Where's the confidence? I'm starting to believe right now in his development, that might rest with his shot, man. If he can just get that average, man. It's not going to look bad.
Yeah, it's important to note too. So he's now played 90 games, right? So he's 8 games over a full NBA season. In his last 9 games, which is basically sophomore season, averaging 12 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Like, we got to keep perspective too that like he basically just finished his rookie season.
Not only that, Pistons thought, another thing, this man, I can't even call him a man yet. This kid played professionally. No, literally, he was literally a little kid running around over there for 2 years. And then you just jump to the NBA with no type of real training, no training camp, none of that. We have this COVID situation. So
literally within 3 weeks of being drafted, he was on the court starting the preseason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like 3 weeks. It's like, hey, welcome to the city. Find an apartment. Get the hell on the court.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm 16.
Hey, you're French. Welcome to Day Trois.
Yeah.
Right. I'm 16 years old. I play professional for another year. I'm 17. Next thing you know, 18, I'm getting drafted to the freaking league. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, wow. You have to think about that because, and we definitely need Ashton to do what he said he was going to do. That's got to happen.
I wish I had my voice effect with me. I wish that traveled with me to Detroit, bro. If I could be like, Killian Hayes, you're staying in Detroit. You ain't going fucking nowhere.
Like I said, man, last season, his offseason objective was to get stronger, get bigger. He did that. This season is strictly got to be shooting. The Pistons, I mean, it's strictly got to be shooting, attacking a basket, using his right hand. That definitely needs to be worked on. We've seen guys do that, man. But yeah, would y'all stop with this guy's comment, Marvin? Oh God,
man. Marvin's gonna get an award tonight, man.
This comment is something else. 5 years of dealing with this guy, man. Marvin on my streams. Marvin is the guy.
That's funny.
Hey, at least he's not saying you need psychological help like Chuck tells me all the time. Literally, Chuck's like, this guy needs help. Like, he says it on a regular basis. Like, Chuck, why?
I love Chuck, man.
I do too. I love it. But man, it's wild. Oh my gosh. But
what's that?
Yeah.
Who can't dribble. Oh.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how this draft class does coming up. But I just as we're kind of starting to head towards the end of the stream, I kind of want to focus on, just like some of the fandom instead of the good memories, because we are heading into the postseason right now. And even though it's another postseason where we're not going to see our Pistons there, I know I reminisce about a lot of the things. I posted a clip on Woodward Pistons earlier this week, which, by the way, follow Woodward Pistons or fuck you. Anyway, I posted a clip on there, the Kentavious Caldwell poke dunk on LeBron James. Not with LeBron running up to him. It was on LeBron James. Anyway, he dunked on LeBron. Anyway, I was in the building that night for Game 3. I was there. The building was electric. I wish I could have made it to the LCA when we were in the playoffs then. But Jordan, I remember. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if you were at both of those games or just at one of them.
That one.
Yeah, but that building was electric that night too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. But man, Dominique, you're just trying to break. He's just trying to make King's blood pressure like Thanos snap in half.
Dominique, I thought we was better than that, man. You know what? I still got your card too. I'm throwing it in the garbage.
Yeah. No, but with that though, I do kind of want to throw it out to you guys. When you think of some of your favorite postseason memories, I mean, other than the obvious, right? Like the championships, right? Like, those are the obvious ones. That DVD, man.
I watch it once a year.
Hold that up again, King. Hold that up again.
I have watched that thing an ungodly amount of times.
Yes.
Ungodly. I feel like I can almost recite it word for word. Like, it's kind of disturbing. But anyway.
Look, I believe y'all, because it's very rare. You talk to somebody who's from your generation, but knows all the facts that we know, man. And honestly, again, to go back to Jordan's point, this is why Pistons Twitter is still here. This is why we know all the facts, we know all the stats, we know all the down years. like we know hashtag buffoonery. Like we know when Tayshaun used that word and they put it in print. You know what I'm saying? Like we've been there through some stuff, man.
Yeah.
Jordan, I gotta ask you this, man. What has been any of your best moments during what you would deem the down years?
Ooh, the down year, like the best moments of the down years?
Yeah. From the end of the going to work to the moment that we got KayCunningham.
I mean, we had a fun year with Blake. Like that was the 50-piece, one-legged playoffs wasn't great, but like we had a fun year overall there. Like I love that 15-16 team. Like that team, I thought like I hated that they came into the next year. Reggie was hurt and the team just sucked, but like that was a fun team. The John Custer rebellion, that was fun.
Stuckey and T-Mac and all those guys. I remember that.
That was a time. I don't know. I think like general consensus is kind of mine too. That 7-game stretch after waiving Josh Smith and getting Anthony Tolliver, like that was insane. Like that's the biggest addition by subtraction I think there is in the history of the game.
Oh yeah, 100%. It was like, this guy's literally cancer to our locker room. Get out of here.
Like they started 5-23. If Jennings didn't get hurt, they were going to make the playoffs. Like straight up, they were going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, they were on the way, man. Hey, Mr. Davis, man, these are your best moments. Mo Cheeks,
Dominique, we're putting you in timeout, bro. You go sit in the corner. Think about what you've done.
Yeah, and I assume by SVG is that both SVGs or is that the coach or the GM?
Man, coach SVG was
the answer is just yes.
This is another good one. Yeah, Jennings 24 assists game. Yeah, Jennings, man. Brandon Jennings, man.
Yeah.
The Jennings Drummond connection. They like, you know, in the pick and roll and you know, in the fast break, those guys worked well off of each other, man.
Yeah,
man.
Jennings is getting a lot of love right now.
One of the few times, man, where we can watch ESPN or NBA TV and see Drummond and Jennings, man, throwing alley-oops off the backboard and everything else, man. That was a great time. And the way that Brandon, you know, he embraced the city. You know what I'm saying? He even started wearing Cartier glasses, man. So that was like I said, that was fun times, man. And I would say my other time, I'm right along with you, Kool-Aid. When we drafted Drummond, I was all for it because like I said, doing my mock drafts and everything, I was knowing that he come to Detroit. So when we did get him, oh man, I was happy about it. But then the latter years, and then Stan Van Gundy screaming at him, Andre, it just blew everything.
Andre. Oh my gosh.
Judge Bushler, man. Yo, we got Pistons fans in the chat.
Yeah, we really do, man. We really do. No, for me, you know, as we're kind of like kind of like closing this conversation, you know, for me, like what I think when I think of like what I hope, not just for the Pistons, but like just for like this fan base that we have and this community that we have, I think over Twitter, I think we get our respect when we show up in waves, because we do show up in waves over Twitter. But I think it's time next year that we start having those kinds of waves in the arena. And so, you know, with Ashton, he kind of, one of the things he said was, you know, next year, it's like, you know, all right, it's time, man. And there was a time, a lot of people like younger than us do not remember when the Detroit Pistons sold out over 200 plus straight home games at the Palace of Auburn Hills. Man. And it didn't take having a superstar. It took having a team that was worth seeing and that embodied Detroit. When it embodies the city, the spirit of the city, and it's worth rooting for, we show up and we show up in droves. But now it's time. It is that time because it's heading in the right direction. And I quite frankly am sick of us not getting our due respect, because I do think we're the best fan base in the league. But it's time we show that in person too. And that's what I want to see next year, man. Definitely. I want the LCA to become one of the premier fan bases, one of the premier spots that people watch and go, man, that building is rocking. And because let's be honest, man, we have tuned in and there have been some nights where it felt like the Little Caesars Arena felt like it was prep hour and the Little Caesars was closed and they were all just doing dishes.
Yeah.
It's going to be scary, man, once we do fill that arena out, because just the way it's designed, it's freakishly loud in there. Like I said, it was a lot of empty seats to one of the games I went to, man, but you would have thought it was a full house, how loud it was in there. So, you know, it's really not any bad seats in that place. You know what I'm saying? So once we fill that arena out, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah. And to everyone's point, it has started to fill out and it has gotten better. With Cade, it's, you know, the energy's been around. I mean, season tickets were after the lottery pick. So, you know, now with another pick coming our way, with a lot of things coming down the future, man, there's a lot of good stuff to be. But through all of it, you're going to want to make sure that you're following all these people here, man. You want to make sure you're following my guy, Detroit Kool-Aid. You're going to want to make sure you're following Downtown Deuce on Instagram and on Twitter. Deuce is one of the most undervalued, talented people we have in this community, man. So be sure to be following him. King is the Godfather, the OG, the Beast. Be sure to be following him. And Jordan, bro, you're welcome here anytime, man. Thank you so much for being here at Pistons Thoughts. I remember when I reached out to you a couple years ago talking about wanting to start a Pistons podcast with you, man. And now full circle, here we are, being able to sit down and finally do this, man. I'm glad we had this opportunity,
I love it.
Bro.
No, you guys are killing it over there too. Like, keep doing it. I'll be back for sure.
Yeah,
definitely. It's you don't even have a choice. It's the thing that you realize.
All right, I'll take it.
Time. No, I'm kidding. But no, absolutely, man. We would definitely love to have you back.
No, we got some things in the works. Jordan. We're gonna continue to talk. We're gonna make sure that Woodward Pistons is a hub for all things Pistons. We're gonna try and make sure that the people that have held it down over these decades, the people that we've identified, as the influencers, the OGs, like King, like Pistons Thoughts. We just want to make sure that those guys have a place to really, 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 and have a platform to really, really preach, man. And that's what this is about, to be able to get together, to talk about the good times, talk about the bad times, and celebrate what's about to happen.
And it's about having a hub and having a community and a place where all of our content creators and the figures in Pistons Twitter can come together, because this is what the 313 Report's all about. This is what Woodward Pistons is all about. We want to be the hub. We want to be the place where you can go to for that content, for those conversations, and to answer the questions and to talk about the things that you at home are wanting to talk about, because that's what we want to. So if you like that, if you want to be a part of it, please be sure to like this. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Please be sure to follow the podcast, like the video. It helps a lot. And seriously, follow all these guys. But most importantly, man, go Pistons.
Go Pistons. Hey.
Go
and
Pistons.
We got to do this every stream. Yeah. Because this is probably the last season we'll be able to do this, because they're not tanking next year. So, Tank General Sean Murphy.
Tank Generals unite. Everybody got to salute.
Come on, Jordan.
We got to lose the living hell out of these final two games.
Yes,
Tank
please.
Army, unite. We're going to do our business this weekend, damn it. Otherwise, it's going to be 20 push-ups. God darn it.
Let's go.
But we want to thank y'all for tuning in. We will catch you next time from Half Court, from the 313 Report from Woodward Pistons. And be sure you subscribe.
Hey, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Have a good night, everybody.